Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Schreiner University. My name is Ted Davis. Time for Sit Down with Ted, and we do this frequently here at SchreinerMountaineers.com, joined by Rajeem Garnett, who is in his first year as the cross-country and track and field coach here at Schreiner. So welcome, by the way.
Thank you.
What's your background? Where did you come from, and what led you to come to Schreiner?
So I'm from Austin, Texas, originally, born and raised. So I graduated from Concordia University, and I went off to go work. I've also worked at the high school level as well and coached there as well at Hill Country Christian School in Austin. So that was where I started my coaching tenure, if you will. And so then I went on to Mary Hardin Baylor to do some volunteering assistant there. So I spent a couple years there, which was really fun. I got to work with Coach Aldaco, who was my collegiate coach as well. So that was really great. And what led me to Schreiner, I was just I'm hungry. I was hungry for a job, and I remember telling Coach Aldaco, if that job is open at the end of this season, I'm taking it. And God was on my side for that.
You ran track, correct?
Yes. Yep, track and field and cross country. I started out more on the track side, and as I got older, I realized I needed some of that cross country, and then I fell in love with cross country. It's an amazing sport to coach, and just the family atmosphere of cross country and the togetherness. It's really, really cool.
So most people won't understand this. You like running longer than shorter.
Yes. I like training longer than shorter, right? Yeah. So and I always understood cross country for myself was like a necessary evil to running 800 meters. That was my event, and so running the cross country, it always prepared me to be able to turn over and be fast when it was time for track.
What's the length of most cross country competitions?
At the college level, it's the 8K for the men, 6K for the women.
Yeah.
At high school, it's 5Ks and 2 miles for the girls. So.
Yeah, and that does give you a combination of you and I ran the same event. We were talking about that. I ran the 880 in high school, and it's now the 800 meters. It's a half mile is what it is. So it's kind of you have to pace but sprint at the same time, and it's an interesting event. So when you got here, where was the program, and what was the first thing you had to do to start building a base here?
So basically, it was I wouldn't say it was in glass pieces, but it was pretty close, and it was fun because I didn't know what I was coming into. I didn't know if I was going to have any athletes who were interested in the sport. But being the guy that I am and talking to the students on campus, I was able to scrap together a pretty decent team this year, and so we've definitely rebuilt it and got ourselves moving in the right direction.
What's your strength on your team right now?
As far as
just individual meets or competitions that might be a relay team or something that might be good.
Yeah. And on the cross country side, it's more of that team point scoring system where you want to get your top 5 guys and be the fastest, and it's not always who's the fastest on a cross country course. As you might know, like it could be a weather day where you got to be the toughest out there. So that's what cross country kind of prepares you for, to be mentally tough and be able to handle some of that environmental things that are going on around you.
Now, we talked a little bit before we went on, and you were saying that you've had a couple of meets so far, but in a way that's kind of prepping for what's coming up. So what's next, and what's the big meet you have coming up?
So our next meet coming up is the D3 Challenge. That's at TLU. Of course, conference is later in April. So we're really gearing up towards that conference meet. However, we're using these meets as really good competition to prepare us and see where we're at and get stronger and faster on the way there. And on the track and field side, if you're asking about strengths there, I think our mile relay is our strongest event that we could do well in. We got some guys who can do really well in their individual events. Like we got Kellen, he's one of our long jumpers who jumps phenomenal. And then Sean Dansby, he's one of our 800-meter runners. He's a really, really strong 800 guy. I think he's the future.
So do you have some people that you think can win a conference meet at the conference tournament?
Yes, I definitely do. Yeah, we have Shantez. She's a shot putter, and she's currently ranked 4th, and she scratched on her throw that should put her in first place. But she's one of those ones who will contend for a championship. And like I said, our mile relay is going to contend for a championship as well. So that's going to be fun.
You talked about the relay. I also ran relays, and while the 880 is an individual competition, you against somebody else, I enjoyed the relay too because it's a team event. And if you do well in your little segment, then you'll contribute to the team. It's a
Yes.
different kind of atmosphere, isn't
Most
it?
definitely, yeah. So the athletes, they understand. Hey, I gotta get in point scoring position. Most of our guys are ranked in that position where they're on the threshold of being able to go score points or fall back. But I think we're moving in the right direction, and everybody's fitness is coming along great.
I've been a runner just for fitness since I was in high school, and I think most people don't understand that once you get in shape, you get in running shape. I always found that I used to run. I wasn't crazy about it. I would run 3 or 4 miles a day, but I always found like that third and fourth mile was my best mile.
Yeah.
That's when I felt the best. That's when I ran the best. People think, no, you'll give out. But no, if you're in shape, those last miles when your body is really going, that's the best, isn't it?
Yeah, that's when sometimes it takes you a little bit of while to warm up. It may take that 1.5 miles, 2 miles to get warmed up, and then you find your rhythm. And that's usually, when they talk about the runner's high, it usually kicks in around that 2, 3, 4 mile range where you're like, oh, okay, I got my rhythm going.
Yeah.
I can keep going. This is nothing now.
I know people don't realize this. There is a runner's high.
Yeah.
It does release endorphins. But people think, no, it hurts.
It hurts. Yeah.
Well, sometimes it does hurt, but you got to get through that.
Yeah, and that's the mental part of the game, right? So you're going through these levels where you're feeling things in your leg, acid build up, and you're like, hey, I got to push through this, and that's when that mental toughness takes over, and I guess that's when you go into that runner's high threshold where you're feeling it, and you're like, hey, this is not so bad after all.
Yeah. Rajeem Garnett is with us. He is the track and field coach and cross country coach here at Schreiner University now. I have never had the desire to do marathons. Have you?
No.
See?
Yeah. Maybe a marathon relay if I could run 5 miles, 6 of it, and give it to somebody else and let them finish. Yeah. I'm more of like, I've done half marathons, so I've done the Austin.
So you did 13 miles.
Yeah, it was a long
Didn't want to
run.
do another 13, huh?
No, sir. I'm a 800-meter guy. I like that caps right about there.
Yeah. What was your best time in the 800?
154, 64.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so when we still hold that record at Concordia, so I like to hold that over their head.
Yeah, that's pushing a 4-minute mile if you stretch it out.
Yeah. I think at 1,500 meters, I went 4:08 was my best. So I was close to breaking. I think my thing was I ran out of time and with college, and then I started having family and things.
Yeah. I remember the first 4-minute mile when it was broken. I'm old enough to remember that, and that was something that people didn't think you could get through. How fast can the human body run? What is the lowest time in a mile right now?
Right now, I want to say it's around that 340, 46, 340.
See, that's ridiculous.
And I think it can go a little bit faster. I think the human body is like with evolution, I think things are getting faster. There's a 16-year-old kid who just ran 45 low in the 400 meter, and he's one of the fastest in the world right now. I think that's incredible, and it's really cool to see, where training can take the human body.
So is there an Usain Bolt that would run the mile and do it in 3:15?
There might be. I always thought David Rudisha, he was the Olympic 800-meter runner. I always thought that he would be able to run a really good mile, but he never went up to 1,500 or anything like that. So we only got to see him crush the half mile.
Now, you went to high school in Austin, correct?
Yes.
Did you play other sports, or was it basically track?
Yeah, I started out as a football, basketball guy, traditional.
Yeah.
And once I started running, and I realized, I started running really early, but once I realized I was actually really good at it, and that's where I shifted my focus around my junior year in high school, and I was like, I think I'm done with football. I don't want to get hurt or anything.
Yeah, the getting hit part.
Getting hit part. That was the part where I was like, I don't think I want to do that.
Did you have a coach who motivated you? Because I remember I had a coach in high school that felt that I would be pretty good at that event.
My mom motivated me because she didn't like me taking too many hits.
Yeah.
So she was like, you should go straight track and field and cross country. I had a few good coaches as well who kind of pushed it, but my mom was really the one who was like, I think you should do that. It hurt my dad's feelings because he thought I was an awesome wide receiver. But yeah.
Does he like track now?
He loves track now. He's a huge track and field fan. He probably knows a little bit more about what's going on than I do out there in the world. So.
Yeah. When you recruit to Schreiner, what do you sell here?
Right now, I'm basically selling myself as the coach with the chip on his shoulder who wants to prove that Schreiner can do and will do the best at this event. And, that's what I'm telling my recruits now. Like, hey, if you want to come here and you feel like you have something to prove, this is the place for you because we're going to do it. We're going to work hard, and we're going to be the best student athletes here.
And that is the key, student athletes, because at this level, they're doing it because they want to. There's not an NIL, there's not a scholarship here. So is there a different motivation at this level, do you think?
I think so. I think the athletes who come to the Division III level who want to do it, they really want to do it.
Yeah.
And they really have that chip, like I say, on their shoulder that they want to prove to themselves and prove to whoever else that, I am a runner and I got looked over, and then I want to show that we can do it and be the best.
Yeah. Native Texan, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right out of Austin.
Yeah, good. Me too. People don't understand this. There are a lot of people moving to Texas, and we're glad they're coming because there's a lot of good things here. But we wear that Native Texan badge kind of proudly, don't we?
Real proud.
Kind of obnoxiously, quite frankly, but we do.
Yeah.
Comuzzie, you too, right? Okay, we got 3 of them right here in this room. Yeah. Hey, well, when you get through the conference tournament, I'd like to check back with you and see how you did, and we can compare where you were then and now. So
yeah, I think it'll be fun, and I think that even with the small group we have now, I think we will have the best track team that Schreiner's seen in their history. Even with the small numbers we have now, I think we'll be able to score the right amount of points to push us forward.
All right, well, that's fantastic. We'll check back with you later.
All righty,
Raheem, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And paws up, claws out.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Schreiner.
Thank you.
Raheem Garnett, cross and field, track and field and cross country coach here at Schreiner in his first year. That's Sit Down with Ted. Thanks to Matt Comuzzie over there. We'll see you next time at SchreinerMountaineers.com.